So last time we were together, we're looking at equations like this and figuring out asymptotes and figuring out x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Okay? Now, how do I figure out what the asymptotes are here? First, the vertical asymptote. What's the process of finding a vertical asymptote? What do you set equal to what? Daniel. Set the denominator equal to 0. So I'll factor out an x. So x equals 0 and x equals 1. So these are my two vertical asymptotes. Okay? Horizontal asymptote. To find the horizontal asymptote, you look at the highest power of each. This is the first power, this is the second power. Since the higher power is in the denominator, your horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. If they were the same power, it would be the coefficients of the two highest powers in each. If the power on the numerator is higher than the power on the denominator, there would be no horizontal asymptote. Okay? So the function has two vertical asymptotes. The leftmost one is x equals 0. The rightmost one is x equals 1. Okay? And horizontal asymptote, it does have a horizontal asymptote. It is y equals 0. Okay. So, as you approach 0 from the left, so we got to look at the graph of what's going on here. And I shouldn't close down my graphing calculator. So grab my graphing calculator and then go like this. All right. So our equation was y equals, quit, y equals, clear. The fraction 8x plus 3 over x squared minus x. Graph. Obviously, my window isn't set up very well. Zoom 6. Interesting little graph there, to say the least. Okay. As we're going towards 0, all of a sudden it goes down, 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 and then takes a turn and it goes up very suddenly. Okay. So as we're going towards 0 from the left, it's going up dramatically, so it's going to go up towards positive infinity. As we go towards 0 from the right, now I don't see anything happening here. Okay. If I zoom and I'm going to zoom out, I'll just do the straight zoom out once from 0, 0. I'll see if I can see anything else happening. Nope. Can't see anything going on, so I'll zoom back in to go window, or zoom 6, zoom 6. Gets me back to my 10 by 10 window. Okay. So I'm going to have to use the trace feature at point 1 and see where I'm at. At point 1, I'm at negative 42.22. If I go to 0.0001, I'm at negative 3,000. So where is it going as I'm getting closer to 0 from the right side? Negative infinity. Now, at 1 coming from the left, again, I can't see what's going on there. There's no graph on my graphing calculator. So I've got to use my trace feature. So at 0.9, I'm at negative 113. At 0.99999, I'm at negative 110,000. So as I'm going towards 1 from the left, I'm going towards negative infinity. As I'm going towards 1 from the right, it looks like it's going up towards positive infinity. So if we look at it, if I'm at 1.01, I'm at 1,097. If I go to 1.00001, even closer to 1, I'm at a way big number, so it's going towards infinity. So what does it look like? Well, if we have an asymptote right here, it's going like this, and then it's like this, and then it's like this. So somewhere down here, there must be some kind of curlicue here. Okay.
But I thought there's an asymptote at 0.
Yeah, asymptote at 0. That's this one right here. This is what? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Not there yet. We're talking vertical asymptotes right now, man. This is where we talk about horizontal asymptotes. Okay, so I also, as John alluded to, have a horizontal asymptote. Okay, so as this one goes to the left forever, it gets closer and closer to 0. As this one goes to the right forever and ever, it gets closer and closer to 0, because my horizontal asymptote is 0. So that's what these two mean. Okay? So you're going to have to look at a graph and figure your way out through some of these. So look at this one. First step, find your vertical asymptotes. How do we find vertical asymptotes? Set the denominator equal to 0. X minus 6, x plus 3. So x equals negative 3 and x equals 6. So it has two vertical asymptotes. The leftmost one is x equals negative 3, and the rightmost is x equals 6. Horizontal asymptotes. Where's the higher power? Denominator. So your horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. If they're the same power, then we use the coefficients. But since the higher power is on the bottom, it's y equals 0. Then x-intercepts. Okay, now we're going to find x-intercepts. To find the x-intercept, you set the numerator equal to 0. So x equals 1 is your x-intercept. To find the y-intercept, you put 0 in for all the x's. Put 0 in there, there, there. You get a negative 1 over a negative 18, which is 1/18. Your x-intercept, it doesn't say to use ordered pairs, so I think it's just a 1 you put in there, and then just a 1/18. So if your x-intercept is 1, it can be a lot of these different ones. It looks like those don't quite hit. But you have a vertical asymptote at negative 3 and 6. So negative 3 and 6 would look, well, this one would work. This one would work. This one would work. This one, yeah, they're all negative 3 and 6. Okay. But this looks like it has an x-intercept of 1. Right, this one here. I have no idea what I pushed. And it all went bye-bye really quick. Okay. So what I would do if I was a high school student is I'd just stick this into my graphing calculator and see which one matches up. Okay.
Wait, why are the lines go onto the horizontal though?
They go, you can cross a horizontal asymptote, but you can never cross a vertical asymptote. So they cross a horizontal asymptote here at 1. Okay? So it does happen. This one, do you have a vertical asymptote? Yep, at x equals -2. X-intercepts, you set the top equals 0. X minus 2 times x minus 4. They add up to -6 and multiply to be 8. So that's what they are. So x-intercepts at 2 and 4. The y-intercept, if we put 0 in for all the x's, you get 8 over 2, which is 4. So vertical asymptote at -2, so it's not C, so it's one of these two. And x-intercepts at 2 and 4. It's really hard to see x-intercepts here. Kind of looks more like this one. And then a y-intercept at 4. Yeah, it looks like choice B. Okay, matching the correct graph. Vertical asymptote at -3. Looks like it could be this one, because this one has a vertical asymptote also at -3, but everything's shifted up by 1. So this one looks, where's the other one with a -3? This one here. So this one you can see is above, has a horizontal asymptote above 0. This one has a horizontal asymptote of 0. So this one, whoops. This one goes to here, and this one goes to here. The next one, 4. There's only one with a vertical asymptote of 4, and that would be this one. Vertical asymptote of 2 would be this one. These two have vertical asymptote, well, this one and this one have vertical asymptotes of 1. If it's positive before this, it looks like that, because 1 over x looks like that. So that's a positive. If it's -1 over x, it would look like this. And see how it's a negative in front of that one, which makes it look like that. Also, it has everything shifted up by 4 in that one, shifted up by 4 in this one. So it's just a positive and negative are the only differences there, basically. Okay. The last two, just graph them out and answer the questions. Okay, so there's only 6 problems. You can get started on it. You should get it done before lunch, because then after lunch we'll solve equations, fractional equations. So I will put that out here in a second for you.